G'day viewers, this is Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel. I'm pretty much in the final stages now of wiring everything together for this 2-inch 902 green screen TV set that I'm building. As you can see, it's been quite a challenge putting it all together, being a very labour intensive project. A lot of wiring up and components here and there, and it's all in a bird's nest, as I consistently say. Anyway, I'm at the challenging stage of trying to get the final wire connections wired up and also connecting the chassis at the same time progressively, and making sure that I have good enough access to all the wire points I need to wire up while I'm doing it. So yeah, I've got the two halves of the chassis here, and I've got the power supply area, which is going to be bolted at the bottom here, where you got those two screw holes there. So yeah, I'm sort of trying to wire up as much as possible to the power supply section before I bolt it in there. And I'll probably have a few other, or will have a few other wire connections I need to solder together and all that after I've pretty much bolted the chassis all together. Anyway, I thought I'd do a video of it all near completion. Still a fair way to go. I'm in the final stages, but I am in the final stages. As seen, I've put insulation around the top potentiometers, and I've also put tape insulation on in some areas where some of the component wiring can touch the chassis. Also put tape just underneath at the front where the pots at the top will touch. Yeah, this is going to be pretty much a challenging task to try and get this all wired up and get it all connected together without pressing against sections. And yeah, I'm going to particularly have a bit of challenging time trying to get the audio volume control pot squeezed in there in front of the audio valve. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about that. Also, I'm not sure how much I can get of this wired up and before I have to bolt it in. Also got to try and get the power supply connections connected up to the power valve. So yeah, that's going to be a challenging task. Yeah. Anyway, the top section's all pretty well wired up nice and neatly. So I'm pretty well done with them pots at the top, the horizontal and vertical width, height and centering controls. That's all that done. I've also epoxied the plastic bezel around the circular hole where the cathode ray tube goes into, so the cathode ray tube don't scrape against the hole on the front plate. So that nice piece of Bakelite bezel will pretty much hold the tube at the front. Anyway, that's pretty much about it for now. Yeah, I'm pretty much near completion. I hope to have this all completed by tomorrow and ready for testing. provided all things go well. And yeah, I hope to God it works, and I hope I've got my wiring correct. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I actually went over all my wiring, and yeah, as it seems, I've pretty much wired up everything correctly, and yeah, in the final stages of wiring, I've just put X's where the wire connections are not connected. So I've marked out where I've got to connect the wires and everything, and yeah, hopefully everything will be all wired up correctly. And yeah, I hope I've put all the right components in too, and not sort of mistaken one resistor value for another and the like. Well, can only tell once I've fired it all up and if the set works or not. And there are some component values some components I just do not have on me, and I had to sort of substitute, particularly the OA91 signal diode. I've put an OA90 in instead. The specifications are pretty much close, so hopefully it should substitute A-OK for the sync clipper circuitry. And yeah, also I've put a 47 microfarad capacitor in place of the 22 microfarad, because I didn't have a 22 microfarad capacitor on me, and I didn't have any other capacitors that I could bung together to make up 22 microfarads. So yeah, use the 47 microfarad instead. I somehow think it should be alright, because basically they're filtering capacitors to smooth out the DC. So I think it should be alright. Now, stay tuned for the next video when I have this all wired up and bolted up together. And yeah, I hope to have it ready for testing. Anyway, this is Troy from the Troy's Digital Arts channel, signing out.